Welcome to rSlash, Am I the Butthole, where OP accidentally gives his cousin $50,000. Am I the butthole for giving my cousin $50,000 against my wife's wishes? I had a belated Christmas gathering last week with my extended family. The custom for this event is that we exchange stocking stuffers, nothing over $10. Ever since we've had this gathering, I've always bought scratch-off lottery tickets for all the adults. As you would expect, they're almost always trash. But every year, we have a few hit for an extra ticket, $2, $5, or even $10. One year, my uncle's ticket hit for $50 and everyone went crazy. It's always a good time. So this year, my 23-year-old cousin goes nuts. He holds up his ticket and claims that it just hit for the max jackpot, $50,000. Everyone rushes over. A couple of my uncles verify, and yep, this kid just won $50,000. I was effing elated. I scooped him up in a big bear hug and said, "Merry Christmas, you lucky a-hole." He was screaming, and his mom was actually in tears, and the whole room was excited. It was literally one of the top 10 experiences of my life. I feel my phone vibrate in my pocket, and I pull it out to see my wife has sent me a text message that says, "Come out to the car." I go outside, and I can tell by her body language that she's pissed. She told me there's no way that we're giving my cousin $50,000, then starts fussing at me about buying the lotto tickets to begin with. Two things to explain. I'm not saying that $50K isn't a lot of money. It's a ton. But I'm in my mid-40s. I have a 2-decade professional career. My wife is a stay-at-home mom by choice. We drive later model cars that are paid for. Our retirements and the kids' college accounts are fully funded. Our only debt is the house. I'm saying all this to show that while $50K would be nice to have, it's not life-changing money for us. My cousin, on the other hand, just graduated from college. His mom is single, and she's one of those fiercely independent women who refuse charity. She took on extra jobs to help him pay for school. He worked at least 2 jobs himself while going to school full-time and still managed to get on the dean's list. But nonetheless, he had to take out loans. He landed a job, but he can't afford a car yet or to live close to the office, so he's looking at nearly a 2-hour commute. He's also saving up for an engagement ring for his sweet girlfriend of 3 years. This money would literally change this kid's life, and frankly, I think that it couldn't have gone to a better member of my family. I explained to my wife that we're not giving my cousin $50,000, we're giving him a ticket that I spend $5 on. She's not buying it and she won't let it go. She's now demanding that I go back in there and that I take the ticket back from him, saying maybe that will give him some of the winnings. We argue a little bit, and I can't get her to explain why she wants this money so bad other than, "It's ours and you're not giving this away." We fought all the way home, and she hasn't spoken more than a couple of words to me since. Am I the butthole? Okay, so children, when they're like 5 years old, learn that there's no takesy-backsies. There just aren't, because that's not how the rules work. You can't give someone a gift, and then when you find out that it's valuable, be like, "Oh, actually, I'd like that back, please." Also, I'm quite confident that there have been many cases exactly like this, where someone gives someone else a ticket and then they get salty about it because it's a winning ticket and they want it back. And I would bet you that in 99% of those cases, if it ever goes to court, then the person who received the ticket absolutely owns the ticket, because that's how gifts work. Okay, so don't get me wrong here, the wife is absolutely a butthole, but I think that I'm going to deviate from the norm here and say that OP, you do deserve a slight butthole score, because very clearly, obviously, your wife is not okay with you giving away a $50,000 ticket. So if you're going to give your friends and family members tickets that could be worth that much, you really should have double-checked with your wife beforehand. I mean, if you want to get your cousin a box of chocolates, fine, you don't need permission. If you want to give him a gift card, sure, no permission needed. But with lotto tickets, since the ticket could be a huge winner, which could lead to hurt feelings, which could lead to jealousy, I would really think that the smart move would be to double check with your partner beforehand and make sure that they're okay with you giving away tickets as a gift. So for that reason, OP, I think I have to give you like 0.5 out of 5 buttholes, a very weak score, just because, to be honest, you kind of put yourself in this situation. Because, like, even if it wasn't your wife, it could have just as easily been Another family member who got upset because this type of situation is kind of a powder keg for hurt feelings. Now, luckily, it does seem like your family, like your blood family that's related to your cousin, is really, really happy for your cousin genuinely and that there isn't any jealousy. But unfortunately, your wife doesn't feel that way. Your wife is clearly being a jealous, bitter butthole. I'm giving her 3 out of 5 buttholes. That is absolutely not your money. Am I the butthole for believing the housekeeper over my son? We hired a housekeeper that comes over several times a week to get the house clean since my husband and I are busy with work. We have 2 kids, Jeremy who's 16 and Raya who's 14. So Jeremy is a jokester and he likes pulling pranks on everyone in the house. And that includes the housekeeper. He's done stuff like throw her purse, hide her wallet, and then he gets punished for it, then told to not do it again. Because our housekeeper almost quit and we didn't want that. Now, on to the current situation. Some days ago, I got a call from Jeremy while he was having friends over, telling me that he saw the housekeeper sneak some of my jewelry into her purse, and he asked me to come home immediately. I freaked out and tried to call my husband, but he didn't pick up. I went home and I was mad. I talked to the housekeeper and she denied putting anything in her purse. I demanded to see her purse, and my jewelry was there. The housekeeper started swearing on her children that she didn't put it in there and she had no idea how it got there. I believed her, and I figured out that Jeremy had something to do with this given his history. I switched my attention towards him, and I had him explain to me exactly how he saw our housekeeper do it. He told me what he saw, but a friend of his came forward and said that he saw Jeremy put the jewelry inside the lady's purse and was trying to get her in trouble. Jeremy yelled at his friend and then told me that it was just one of his pranks, but I was furious. I kicked the rest of his friends who covered for him out of the house and I pushed him hard and apologized to the housekeeper. My husband reacted unexpectedly after he heard this and said that I was in the wrong for choosing to believe the housekeeper over our son, even though there was a witness. But he said that Jeremy's friend must have said this to get him in trouble, or because the housekeeper paid that friend to side with her, which was shockingly absurd of him to say. He said that I'm not a good mother, and that my first instinct as a mother should be to always believe my son whatever he says, and never question him in front of his friends like that. I'm confused. Did I mess up? Okay, hold on. So first of all, you did believe your son. He called you up, he said the housekeeper was stealing, so you were like, oh my god, the housekeeper's stealing, and you rushed home and you confronted her, and you looked inside the purse and saw that there was your jewelry. So the thing that he wants you to do, you did. And he says that you shouldn't question your son in front of your friends, but you didn't. All you did was ask him to explain what he saw, which, even if you did believe, is a very reasonable question to ask. And that's when the friend came forward. So, your husband wants you to give your son the benefit of the doubt, but you did. You did time and time again. And this guy's saying that the housekeeper paid off a friend to be on her side. Oh my god, give me a break. This guy is sticking his head in the sand, to put it simply. He's choosing the outcome that he wants and then just imagining evidence to support that claim. Also, let's not forget that this is a very serious accusation. If you had backed up your son on this, and the friend hadn't come forward and all of Jeremy's friend had also backed this up, then you could have called the cops. She could have ended up literally in jail for something that she didn't even do. So, no, OP. What you did was very reasonable, logical, and honestly, you were being a good parent. Your husband, however, is not being a parent. I'm giving you 0 out of 5 buttholes. I'm giving your husband 3 out of 5 buttholes. I'm giving Jeremy 4 out of 5 buttholes. At this point, he's not a prankster. He's just a mean bully. Am I the butthole for siding with a homewrecker? My sister, Annie, is 30 years old, and she's obsessed with a girl. Let's call her Jane, who's in her 20s. My sister thinks that her husband cheated on her with Jane in mid-2020. I don't know why. Jane's not the first girl that she's been obsessed with, or the last. She was actually a decent girl. She didn't realize that he was married, and she broke it off when she found out. Then she sent the proof of his cheating to his wife. Somehow, he spun this as, she's trying to break us up, and my sister fell for it. Which is stupid because Jane already blocked him on everything. He's the one who basically stalked her for months after that. Anyway, Annie's been stalking Jane's socials. Anytime Jane posts about something bad happening, Annie calls me up to gloat. Anytime Jane posts about something good that happened, Annie starts crying about how it's not fair. In the last few months, Jane apparently got a high-paying new job, got engaged, and is pregnant. Annie had a full-blown meltdown over it. Jane is all she ever wants to talk about. She calls me at least twice a week to talk about this, and she texts me multiple times a day. She doesn't want advice, she doesn't want to leave her husband, she just wants to vent endlessly. My other sister is also tired of this, but my mom says that we need to be gentle because it's hard for Annie. I just want her to stop. I've tried sympathy, tough love, changing the subject, suggesting counseling. Nothing works. It's nonstop. Jane did this, Jane did that. I hit my boiling point this morning when she was going on about how Jane's fiancé would cheat because she's too fat. For clarity, she's pregnant, and that would make her baby a bastard. Then she said, I don't care because I won and she lost. She had him for a week, but I have him for a lifetime. For some reason, this made me snap. I told Annie that she won a slimy serial cheater who likes to creep on barely legal teens, who's never supported her through illness or depression, who never lifts a finger around the house, sulks about having to babysit his own kids, constantly makes mean jokes about her, and criticizes her appearance harshly even though he's below average in looks. I said something like, maybe you're obsessed with Jane's life because your life is a massive dumpster fire. Since then, I had to deactivate my socials because I'm getting non-stop hate from Annie, her friends, and extended family for being cruel. Apparently, I have no morals and I condone cheating. But none of them are going for the actual cheater though, just me for pointing out that he's a cheater. My other sister says that I wasn't wrong, but I was a butthole for saying it harshly and that Annie is a victim too. I don't know, Reddit. Am I? OP, it sounds like your sister needs some therapy or something serious to happen because, I don't know what this is. Denial? Projection? Something. In any event, OP, if you really want to get under your sister's skin, you know that all you have to do is post on social media about all the amazing things that are happening in your life. Anyways, OP, I'm giving you 0 out of 5 buttholes, I'm giving your sister 2 out of 5 buttholes, and I'm giving your brother-in-law 4 out of 5 buttholes. Am I the butthole for getting upset with my husband after he told me that nothing will change while I'm pregnant? So, I'm a 26-year-old woman, and my husband, Jake, who's 28, have been together for 5 years, married for 3. We've recently started trying to have a baby because we both felt like that was the next step in our life together, and 3 weeks ago, I got a positive test back. We were really happy, and we told our families, and now my mom and mother-in-law want to throw a big baby shower for us. It was just super good news all around. Well, 2 nights ago, me and Jake were getting ready for bed when he reminds me to go through the house and make sure that all the lights are off. Now, he can be a little lazy at times, and it's become a nightly routine for me to make sure that all the lights are off that he leaves on before we go to bed. I wasn't feeling very well, and I asked if he could just do it since he wasn't doing anything and was literally standing by the door. He then tells me, "No, this is what's expected of you every night." I was a little hurt, but I didn't want to fight with him, so I just did it. When I came back, Jake goes on this very long, unprovoked rant saying things like, "Just because you're pregnant doesn't mean anything will change. And you're still expected to cook, clean, and do all the chores every day because how can you be expected to be a mother if you can't handle a little work?" He wasn't yelling or anything, he was just talking to me quietly like I was 2 inches tall. I was shocked because I had never heard him say anything like this. His rant went on for about 30 minutes before I interjected and asked, "Well, what do you plan on doing to help me with all this?" He then got extremely defensive, saying that he works his butt off at his job to provide for me and our future children. For context, I don't work at the moment. My job wasn't paying enough to justify me going, so I'm a full-time college student. He ended by saying that it doesn't matter how I feel physically or mentally. It's a mother's job to push through, and if he helped and babied me, then I wouldn't be a good mother. I got extremely upset and I started yelling, and I said, "I wish I would have known this is how you felt before I got pregnant with your baby." There was a moment of silence before he started crying, and he left for the night to stay at his mother's house. He hasn't been back yet, and my mother-in-law and sister-in-law have been calling me, berating me, saying that I broke Jake's heart with what I said, and that I need to apologize immediately. And until I do, he isn't coming home. I don't know how to feel. So, am I the butthole for yelling at my husband after he said that he isn't helping me with anything during the pregnancy because it's a mother's job to just deal with it? Wait, hold on. So, this guy ranted at you for like 30 minutes straight, and then when you said one single sentence to him, he starts crying and runs off to his mommy? OP, I really hate to tell people to break up when I read these posts because it's just so easy for me to say, oh, well, you're dating such a butthole, so you should just dump him and move on with your life. And, you've got a history and you're literally carrying his child, so there's a lot of issues here at stake. But, if he's going to be this sensitive and treat you this badly when you're pregnant with his child, then it can't possibly get any better, can it? I mean, logically, the best treatment that a woman should ever get from her husband should be when she's pregnant, right? Because she's literally carrying the guy's child. So if he can't respect you here, then can you really be confident that he'll respect you in the future? So I hate to say this, OP, but this is a really bad red flag. If I were you, I would be reevaluating my entire relationship with this guy. OP, you get 0 out of 5 buttholes. Your husband gets 4 out of 5 buttholes. That was rSlash AmITheButthole, and if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.